Good morning. Welcome to Market Coffee Talk. This is Louis Yanis. Today is a wonderful day again, as it always is. Now, I want to ask you a question. How do you define real wealth? Real wealth. Real wealth is, in my definition, is when you have enough wealth where you're not worried about money at all. And your money, you can't outspend your money. And it is keeping up with inflation, so your money will be able to be spent with inflation over time. And today I'm going to be talking about a piece from my book where I talk about 7 steps to build real wealth. And the reason why I'm bringing it up is because every day most people make mistakes that could cost them thousands, if not millions of dollars. They don't properly plan and invest for the future. We see that over and over again. People want to, and you want to maintain real wealth. You want to remain financially free from worry, and you want to live a full life without worrying about money. But the financial markets are complicated. The tax rules are constantly changing. Your life circumstances are changing, and that can get in the way of making smart financial choices. So without a proper strategy to invest wisely, a lot of people suffer because they're putting their financial security in jeopardy. So in this book that I wrote, The Financial Freedom Blueprint, I give 7 clear steps to real wealth by growing and preserving your money. And I'm going to go over them today with you, just at a high level. And in the book, I unlock how to put financial worry behind you and to lead a more abundant life financially. And I talk about how to stay ahead of the herd and how to invest wisely in an age of disruption and innovation, which we are in. And really those strategies to protect and grow. So I want to just go ahead and dive right in. I put here on the show notes, just so if you want to see, on my website, you could also take a look at the book too. So it's at this wealthnetinvest.com/FFB. So, and feel free to share that with your friends and like it, etc. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. And I want to take a look at this. I want you to see me too. Okay, here, not that one, but this one. Okay. So what I'm going to be talking about, don't let it actually confuse you into thinking because it's so simple that it's not powerful. Because what I'm sharing with you is something that we have been doing and I have been doing for over 2 decades, and it is built on decades of experience working with real people. Anybody from a CEO of a major corporation all the way down to mom and pops and individuals who have very little money. And this process works across the board. So I want to share this with you. This is the process that I think everybody should do. Okay, everybody should do this. So the step 1 is to identify and prioritize your objectives. That sounds like duh, right? But it's amazing how many people have not done that, haven't gone through the process to do that. And in order to do that, you have to not only think about yourself, but you have to think about others. You have to think about your family members. You have to think about anybody that is related to you. You have to think about all your relationships. And I believe in doing a process, what I call goal grading. And there's a goal grading worksheet in the book to actually go through and help you think through what is important about money to you and what does this money thing need to do for you. And once you've done that, you've identified those goals, then you can move yourself into another situation where you're actually prioritizing them. And once you've got them prioritized, then you can move from there. The step 2 is to gather and analyze your data and organize your data. A lot of people, it's amazing, they don't understand exactly what is your net worth. How are your finances actually structured? That's a huge thing, because if you don't have your finances structured in a good way, what'll happen is you'll wind up being in a situation where you're going to make some mistakes. You might have the accounts that are in the wrong title for how you're going to need them later on. You might have some tax problems. So those are the things that need to happen. You need to actually get a good handle on your overall structure. And then you go to step 3, and then you analyze your current situation. So that really is encompassing your strengths, your opportunities, and your weaknesses. You know, what are those things that that really mean something to you, and how strong are you in a position to actually get that accomplished. And now you do a gap analysis and you develop realistic solutions. And the only way to do that is to actually do scenario analysis. What if I do this? What if I do that? What if I do this? And pick the one that actually makes the most sense. This is so intuitive. But if you just go through this process, it will lead to much more success. So once you've done that, then you can put together an investment policy, which basically puts into consideration your time frame, your return requirements, your liquidity requirements, how much income you're going to need. There's so much tax problems that are out there. It's enormous. How are we going to overcome taxes and inflation? And then you implement the plan. So once you implement the plan, you got to go from point A to point B. And based on what you have right now, you may have a lot more issues going from point A to point B. And sometimes you can't do it all at once, or you need to make some modifications in order for you to get back on track. But once you get to that point, you can implement your plan. And then the last step is probably the most important, because it's that ongoing monitoring of your progress. See, once you put your plan in place, then you have an idea about earmarks about where you should be. And if you have these earmarks put in place, then you can actually see, how am I doing? And do I need to course correct? And if that's the case, how do I course correct? So that is it. It sounds simple, and it is simple. But keep in mind, within each one of those, there are a lot of specifics. But at a high level, if you start off by identifying and prioritizing your objectives, gathering and organizing your data, putting them into a planning software so you can really see how you're doing, analyzing your current situation, what are my strengths, opportunities, and my weaknesses, and then figure out, how do I solve the problems, develop realistic solutions to meet your goals, and then put together an investment policy that takes into consideration your time frame, your return requirements, your risk tolerance. It's really important. Any legal and tax implications that you have. And then you start implementing that plan, going from point A to point B, and then you monitor your progress, and it just keeps going on and on like that. This is the way. This is the way to get financial freedom. And if you are in a situation where you're already rich, most of our clients are already rich, okay, then this still applies to you, because you may have different types of goals. Maybe you need to have a situation where you're going to be passing money on to your heirs, right? And you have to look at things in a different manner. So I always talk about investment management from the details, the nitty-gritty, rolling up your sleeves, what's a good investment, what's not. But if you don't do this first, I'm telling you, if you don't do this, the rest of it will fall apart. You'll make some big mistakes that will be costly, either tax-wise, and I don't care how much money you have. And I've seen people who are multi-millionaires not do this and wind up getting in trouble. So if you're rich, do this. If you're not so rich, do this. That's all I have for you today. And if you want to check out my book, go to www.wealthnetinvest.com/FFB and take a look at the Financial Freedom Blueprint and pick up a copy on Amazon. I've got a new revised version of this book coming out, and there's a lot of stuff that's talking about how to get ahead of the herd and how are you going to make money in an innovation economy. And then I had a lot of common questions like, should I pay off my mortgage? So the new edition is also going to be coming out. It's going to be a good one. You should take a look at it. All right. Have a great day, you guys, today. And I am off and running. Talk to you later.